So, hello, hello. The, this is maybe some practical things that I start with that. This is uh, no, next week. Let I say it like that. Next week and the week after, there are no Zoom meetings. We are traveling to Budapest, where it's a live meeting, and to Germany, where it's the residential. And then after that, the Zoom meetings are starting again. It's also on my website, so you can see it there. So there's today. Hello. There's only this, and that's it. There's a lot of things that we think that go on, and there's something going on in the story. The strange thing is when we were saying hello to each other, hello, hello, hello.
Catherine together with Anita. Do you see it?
Huh? Oh, Catherine! Hi, Catherine!
Hi.
Hi. Oh, it's nice.
And Anita.
How is that? How is that going? And saying hello to everybody. It's the same as talking about non-duality in anything. It's unconditional love talking. And it doesn't matter what it's saying. It's saying hello, hello, or it's saying there's no one. It's the same thing. There's no meaning in anything. That's the joy of this. There's no meaning. There's no meaning in anything. So we can talk about everything. We can say hello. And it's in the same time, it's saying, I love you. It's like that. There's only love, unconditional love. Unconditional love means there's no one and there's no right and no wrong. There's no right, there's no wrong. So it's only what is happening, what's apparently is happening, because there's no real thing. There's nothing is real. It's only an appearance going on. And it's going nowhere. It is. Sound, a lamp, a table. We were talking yesterday about tables, that I love tables. I love to say tables because we're so focused normally about what's going on here with me and with my body, or maybe about health, or about what's going on. Is there still me going on, or that's already a lot less that's going on. And that focusing on that, what me is, or my life, or things like that, that's me. It's the awareness, a looking and noticing of what's going on. When everything is finished, you could say there's nothing left. There's also no awareness. So there's no noticing of what's going on. It's just a hand, a table, and there's no one seeing it, or there's not seeing the wall, there's walling. So that's completely different. That's what we are used to in the story. In the story is always two. There's always I am, and maybe there's an understanding or clarity about there's no one. But there's in a subtle way, there's something going on about seeing the wall. And they're saying, yeah, but they're seeing the wall. No, there's no seeing the wall. There's walling. It's one. And it's completely out of the story. The story has nothing to do. There's a story and the world and anything that seems to happen like that and seems to happen to you, and there's this. It's not happening to someone. It is not happening for someone. It's apparently what is happening. Sound, table, feelings, streets. There's no story. That's the simplicity. There's only one, and that's the simplicity. There's nowhere to go. That's only in the story. There can be distance and time. That makes a construct about there's something happening and I'm in it and it's happening to me and I'm going to that and I'm learning and all that. There's no learning. There's no development. There's no time. When there's no time, that's huge, because there's also continuation. And hearing the body isn't real, that's even more worse in that sense, that there's no one existing. You don't exist. Whereas Roes doesn't exist. And at the same time, it's no big deal. It was already like that. It is already like that. So when that dream is that I'm here and all that isn't arising, then it's also very obvious that it already was like that. So there's no change in that way. It's only that dream and that assuming that I was there and it's happening to me. It's not happening. So it's very simple. It's very easy also, because when there's no me, when there's no one, there's also no choice or no free will. So it's nothing about what do I want. I want this, I don't want that. That's part of the story. It's going like, oh, I don't like this and I would like something else, and this is not feeling well, and it's definitely not feeling good for me. A lot of things are going on like that. Life doesn't see you. There is no you. Life is, so it's streets. And it seems like circumstances who are bad for you. That's in the story, and that's the complication and the trouble, and that's what we want to get rid of that. So we're looking for something like feeling good or something like that. But it's endless, because when life doesn't see you, it's an endless trying to make it right. And that whole ability that seems to be there, like I'm able to change with my free will and choice, is an illusion. That there's no power in it at all. It's only an idea that can arise in a belief. But there's no power in thoughts. It's thoughts, like table, and it's energetic. So that's going on. It's how it's going. We don't know. There's only not knowing. And when they're saying it's one, there's also nothing going on about right and wrong. It can't be right or wrong. That's only in the story. I think it's more in the story, it's more like based on feeling good, that's right, and feeling not good is wrong, something like that. This is not about feeling good or nice or something. It's about what is. There's no escape. It's that pain, table, rain, cold. It's like that. And when everything is lost, there's also nothing going on trying to change it. It's not that choosing that, no, it's that seemingly ability that seems to be there before isn't arising. It's not there. And that ability to feel that I can change that, it's not an ability, it's a belief, which is a misunderstanding. It's exactly complete as it is. It's complete. There's no wrong in that. It can't be wrong. It's exactly that. So we can talk about that, and we can talk about stories, we can talk about choice. And sometimes there are issues like money, and relations is a strong one. There seems to be a lot of how to behave, because that's part of the story of me. That's good behavior and that's bad, and problems in that. So we can talk about that also. We can talk in the story, and there's in the same time saying there's no story. So when there's a question about the story, there's not always the same answer. Sometimes we think we know that there's an answer. Oh, well, I know what you're going to say. No, you don't. I don't. I don't. It's suddenly coming. And that's the same as everywhere. That this is not someone special or something like that. That's those talking is the same as talking somewhere else. There can be talking, and we give it meaning because it seems like, oh, I can do something with it and in my life and something like that. There's no meaning in anything. There's no meaning. It's talking. It's sound. It's that. It's going nowhere because it's already complete. So there's no need for anything else. And there's also no need to understand. There's no need to hear this. There's no need to write down. And if it's understood and if there's writing down, then that's what's happening. There's nothing right or wrong with that too, of course. So it can't be wrong. It's everything. It's everything. That's the unconditional love. That it's everything. That's also the freedom. It's already what is happening. And it doesn't matter what it is. It's everything. The only difference you could say is not happening to you. Life isn't seeing you. There's no you or me. So maybe there are questions, maybe there's nothing coming. We'll see. And you can also write something in the chat if you want to. It seems like a paradox. They're talking in the story and talking about mothers and friends and relations and all that. And in the same times, they're saying, no, there's no story, there's no me, there's no one it's happening to. So there's only this. And it seems like a paradox. So we think we know what's going on. And then in the same time, oh, we don't. And then so it's like that. So everything is new. Also, what's being said is new. There's no clue. And we have a lot of ideas about wrong emotions or maybe bad feelings or all that ideas. When they're saying I'm irritated, that it gives the feel, it seems like there's something wrong. When there's irritation, that's a sensation somewhere. There's no reason for that. There's no meaning in it. It's not going to someone or anything or saying anything with that. Irritation is that a sound, maybe. And that's everything. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong. That's what we normally think about anger, irritation, all that. There's nothing wrong. It's not about there's something wrong. There's anger, and that's it. There's a question. Here, anger is automatically suppressed, even if it's known that anger is normal and okay, and then the contraction gets tighter. It's I think it's not about being suppressed because that's assuming that there's someone doing that. There can be a feeling or there can be a tightness, then that tightness is everything. It's not better that anger is expressed or not expressed. There's nothing better than anything. It's what's happening. So there can be contracted energy. Yeah, then there's contracted energy. Everything is neutral. It's not happening in someone or for someone. And there are so many ideas about how to live your life, and this is better to do, or that we can heal it and all that. Because suddenly, and that's where that me is coming in, that when there's me and living in the story, so there's two, there's always something going on. I'm not good enough. This is not complete yet. I should do it like that so it will feel more relaxed. Or there's an idea about perfection and and natural and all that. But it's always different as what it is, or most of the time. And this is saying now that what is happening, that contracted energy, that tension maybe, that's it. That's unconditional love, tensioning. How can you say it? It's that. It's completely that. There's no suppression or all that. That's only in the story of with time and and distance. So it can't be wrong. It's exactly that, what it is. And it's that idea, that belief that there's something, oh, this is still suppressing. And that's most people have that idea of that. It's like that. So this is completely out of the story. And that jumps on that, you could say in the story, that me, that it's coloring everything. So it seems when there's happening something, it's immediately seeing that it's suppressing that anger. And maybe what can I do about it? That's part of that misunderstanding, you could say. But it's so embodied, that's so seemed to be the normal way to look at yourself and seeing what's right, what's wrong, what's still not functioning well, or all that. That we assume that the body is real and solid and it's always there, and there's a beginning and an end. And this is completely something else. There's no beginning, there's no end, there's no continuation. That body isn't real. It's seen like hand, or oh, it's hand, or that. And the brain can fill in the gaps. So it seems like there's a continuation, like in the film. You see some scenes and there seems to be a story. That's the same as in life when there's that body or streets. It's assuming that there's a continuation. There's not. And they're saying, less an idea. It's more like fear, to let it out. Even I can do it. No, there can be fear, but you think there's an idea on top of that. Oh, there's a fear because I'm afraid what's going to happen when I let it out. When there's fear, then there's fear. That can be a sensation somewhere, but without a story. There can be a story with that. That's me, and that's giving ideas about why and how it's going, and maybe some ideas about what can you do. There's fear can be there, but it's only fear. It's a sensation somewhere. It's not even in the body. There can be a fear. And then there's the table or something else. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't mean anything. It's fear. Fear, feelings can happen. Thoughts, floor, table. It's singular. My heart. It's so embodied. There's so many ideas and concepts about behaving. It's not even a lot of them are even not conscious, or you don't know. It's so embodied, and then it's like that. It's so immediately on top of what's going on. And it seems so true in a way. And then here's this. It's neutral. It's an assumption, but it's so quick. It's not even noticed that. It's only fear. There's nothing wrong with fear. And there's no one. There's also, the body is also not real. There's nothing going on about taking care, something like that. That's also a story. This is amazing. And crazy. Thank you. Those feelings feel so existential and threatening often. Thanks. Yeah, when please give every question which is there, because that's making, sometimes it's not only for you, not for you. There's so much ideas about how to behave. They're so embodied, so it seems so true, and then suddenly there's talking about it and it seems there's something else going out. Yeah. And when there's no me, or when that's all uh, lost, you could say, irritation happens, anger happens, everything, every feeling. There's nothing going on about guilt or responsibility or things like that, because that's not really a feeling. It's more an idea about how to behave and what's right or wrong. But feelings, of course, they're there. They were already there. So that's not changing. It can be everything. Sometimes there are feelings you don't even know what it is. Yeah, can be. Doesn't matter. That they are there, and then it's something else. So there's no need to look at it or do something with it or whatever. It's not yours. Nothing is yours, and it's not even happening in the body. It's a sensation somewhere, like a table and a wall and sensations and thoughts. It's free. So there's no meaning. It's singular. That's what's happening. That's the simplicity. There's no story. Only in the story. is this is this truly unnameable? Unnameable. What is, you can't say what is. I can't say. It changes. So it's when there's words about it, then it's already different. You can't say how it is. I don't know. Yeah, you can't say. Doesn't matter. That it could be a curse, like all the time saying, "Oh, this is like, well, there's this." Why should you? It's like it's life, just going on like that for no reason, not to anyone. It's just life, like that. It's going nowhere. That's amazing. We think that's in the story, of course. There seems to be going something happening, things are happening. That still goes on, but in the same time, it's empty. It's crazy. This message is crazy. There's even, it's even amazing that people want to listen to it. And in the same time, how can you not listen? How can you not hear that there's nothing wrong? That's what we long for in a way, that there's nothing wrong. There's always that curse, like, oh, I should do it different. Oh, that's not good enough. Oh, what people will think about me because maybe this is not right, and all that curse. And then hearing, it can't be wrong. It can't be, it's what it is. There's nothing going on about right and wrong. Wow, that's stunning. Well, it's not happening for you. So it's not like you are good enough or something like that, because there's a lot of things. You're okay, I'm okay, and all that. But that's still in the story. So that can be a feeling for some moments, and then it's already gone because it's so coloring everything. So that's jumping on something else, and people say something, and it's felt like, oh, it's again not good enough, and all that. It's going on. So that's so embodied. It's a misunderstanding. It's a misunderstanding also. There's no one. So it's not, people are not talking to you. It's talking. It's not happening to you. There is no you. There's no one inside. There's no inside or outside. There is no one. So this is also, it can be a threat, because it's threatening that there's no continuation, and that whole identification in the story about I'm here and I'm doing my thing and maybe it's going better now and all that is just out of the window in this kind of meetings, because it's not talking about that at all. It's not seeing that it's important. It's only seeing that hand or a face or sitting. So the whole story is out of the window. That can be a threat, because there's some identification and thinking this is important and that's not important in a subtle way. Or there's a clarity. It doesn't matter if there's clarity or not. Can be, but still in the story. Can be nice. Doesn't mean it's wrong. No, it can be nice or whatever. Mm. This energy here is so beautiful and relaxing, like melting ice cream. Like melting ice cream. You like melting ice cream? I don't. But I hear what you say. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Oh. There can be a relaxation because there's nothing right or wrong in any question, and it can't be. So it's not about saying that to people, but it's also energetically there can't be something right or wrong. It can't. It's lived like that. So there can be any questions. It's never silly or wrong. No, of course not. So that can be relaxing. Can also be a threat because they're saying there's no one and you don't exist and there's nothing happening, so the story isn't important. Doesn't mean it's wrong that there's a story and believing and things like that. Of course not. That's what's happening. Of course, it's what's happening. Beliefs and all that.
Hi, Rose.
Hi. Hi.
Hi. So yeah, the message, like there is no one, can be very confronting to
Mm-hmm.
people. But I just had a friend visit recently, and she was asking me what these meetings are all about, and is
Yeah.
it about spirituality? Is it about this? And I said, no, it's I said, well, it's about nothing really, but it's like it's just so difficult to
Yeah.
explain. And I said, I really, no words were coming out of my mouth. I can't explain it. Maybe it's better if I send you a link, or a YouTube video, or
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
yourself.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
and then, and then
Yeah.
another evening, she was asking again about it, and then a few words came, and then tried to say something about it because she is a good friend of mine, and I've known her, so I felt like, yeah, I can do that,
Yeah.
but then, of course, it's just met with a huge wall of resistance, and it's just, back
Yeah.
and forth arguing, and like I said, well, I said this is not really going anywhere, so maybe if I'll just send you a link instead, it's better
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
want the
I can
link.
hear that. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, I know she's not going to watch it. It's like many
Yeah.
people ask, but they don't really listen to what you say, and they don't
Mm.
really
Mm.
they don't want to hear it actually. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, what to do? I mean, yeah, what to do? It's nothing to do, but
Well, what I noticed also when there's people asking and there's no openness or something like that, I don't know what to say too. There's
yeah,
nothing coming,
there's no
so
openness. Yeah, exactly.
there's
Yeah.
no words. And suddenly in these
Yeah.
meetings, it's suddenly a lot of things going on, and then
Mm,
with friends maybe, and then I don't know what. It's just not coming. So yeah, of course, it's
yeah,
the same. It's the same.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
it's
No,
so it's also a
yeah,
threat. It is threat too. Like, but it's maybe it's not even felt like that for people, or sometimes it is. I don't know.
yeah.
I'm
I
not
also
sure.
don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. No, I just wanted to share that.
yeah. But I know yeah, I know that the same thing. So it's really when there's people they don't or they argue about things and yeah, what is
Yeah,
how
and
can you argue about this? Yeah,
yeah. How can you argue? Yeah, and just another thing I just thought of now is like, you know, like my friend, for example, she hasn't really changed since I met her. We were like teenagers, and you know, she's still doing the same things, and she still likes the same things, um, and obviously, I mean, in their parents, you know, life, you could say that of course I've been doing a lot of other things than her, and you know, so it's like for me it's a bit difficult because I feels like I can't meet her there where she is because I can't go back to, you know, something that was
Mm, mm,
before, and in a way it's a bit sad and it's a bit
yeah.
bittersweet in a way, but still, you know, I have a lot of love for her.
Yeah.
But also when she was here, it was a lot of well, at least at the end, I felt almost you know, a kind of aggression coming up because
Mm,
it was like
mm,
I can't express myself. I can't. I know
mm.
this is just in the dream, probably, you know, because there is no I that can't be. I can't be
But it can be
myself.
sadness. There can be sadness, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then, you know, I'm going. She's from Norway, and I'm going there this summer, and then we're going to meet again. And then I'm like, I don't really want to do the things that she wants to do. And then there again, there is this, I don't want to do this. I don't like this, and she is like that. You know, still in
Yeah.
this. I don't
Yeah.
know, but it's
But
still
there's no need to talk about non-duality. And the
no, of
sharing is
course
also
not.
in another
No, no,
way.
no, no, no,
If
no, no, no.
it's not going in that way, that can be sad because that's when it's a long friend. It's yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
No, but I'm talking about other things that I
Yeah.
don't really do
Mm,
anymore. And I know this
mm,
is very personal, but I don't
yeah,
know
yeah,
how
yeah.
to do that. And it's like
Mm, mm,
if I say I'm not really I'm not really into that anymore. I don't really, you
yeah.
know, she doesn't
Mm,
listen. She just like keeps going on and asking the
yeah.
same things
Yeah.
and I
So
guess that's just what's going on then. And
yeah, that's going in a
you know,
different way, but that can be sad. Yeah, of course.
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
Anyways,
I
yeah,
know. There was a lot of I lost a lot of friends in that way.
yeah.
But that can be like that. Sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's not even sad at all. It's different.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
And some people are there's no talking about this at all, and they're such a good friend. It's so I don't know how that's working, but it's so energy. It's just energy.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Absolutely. Yeah. I
Yeah.
have friends that have no idea about this and we
Yeah.
get along so fine. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
no problem at all, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's always
Mm.
it's always going like that. In the story you could say that.
Yeah.
Then there's maybe changes or not no interest in some things more. And I
Yeah,
don't know,
that's true.
that changes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening. For
Yeah, of
this.
course. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Same. Oh, hello, dear Rose. Dear Rose. I feel great attraction to hear you sharing from life. It's like it doesn't confirm the me in a way. It's chilling and confusing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's chilling and confusing. Yeah. Yeah. That's how it is. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. There can be some how do you say, constructs or some beliefs and concepts that are so embodied and not even seen as a construct or a concept or a belief. And then suddenly it's like, oh, it was a belief, and I never thought about it at all like that. But yeah, maybe it isn't like that, and there can be some doubt about things, and, or not that strong anymore. Yeah, there can be, or maybe stronger can also be. Yeah. And it's so normal. This is so normal. And we make a lot of ideas about how that would be when there's no me and all that, or all things that's being said. It's made maybe in a kind of new thing, like, oh, this message with a capital or things like that. It's not special at all. It's like when there was that moment, then there was suddenly I was getting into the train. It's just a story, but it's getting into the train, and then suddenly it jumped like, ah, there is no world. How could I believe there's a world? It's a construct. It's like there's this room, and then how do I know that there's something behind? It's assuming that there, and when there's a world, there are other countries. That it suddenly I couldn't believe in that anymore. It's like, oh, but it was so normal. It's not special, but it's more that something fell away, you could say in that way. And then it's suddenly like, oh, no, of course not. No big deal. You still can talk about countries and all that. Well, there are no countries. And that's crazy. But in the same time, it's just very normal and no big deal. It was already like that. Hmm. This feeling of guilt and shame seems to stick to almost anything. That's me. That's that about behaving. You should behave in a certain way, and when you don't, you're not good enough, and you're not strong enough, or you have to let out your anger. Or I did that. I had so many ideas about myself and working on myself because it was never good enough. And that was underlying with everything, that I wasn't good enough, and trying to feel better about myself and trying to heal which was already confirming that there was something wrong with me. And it was an endless going, and it was so convincing, so going. And I was feeling like I'm feeling much better now, and then it jumped to something else, and it was the same story again, and it goes on and goes on. But when you're in that story, it doesn't feel like it jumps in the same circle, but it feels like there's a development, and I'm getting stronger now, and I'm feeling much better now, and it jumps on something else, and you work on that. So it's endless, but it doesn't feel like that, and that's so strange. And when that's all falling away, I couldn't even look at myself anymore. That's so strange, because that's what's my life. That's what I did for maybe, I don't know, 20, 30 years. There's no, how do you look at yourself? I don't know. That's crazy, because that's was my life. That was I did as a work. So that's crazy. It doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't function. I don't know. But that's that. When there's me, there's awareness and looking at yourself. And when there's looking at yourself, there's always something wrong. And there can be, it felt like shame, or it felt like guilt, or I don't, you have to be responsible, or all that, all ideas about how to behave in a certain way. It's not only you can't, it's exactly how it's going, is it? When there's, I was always, when I didn't feel the anger, and then it did, and then people say, yeah, you have to feel your anger. When there's nothing going on, there's no feeling at all, then there's no feeling. That's it. It's not behind or something like that. That's such a strong, convincing story. That's exactly what it is. And guilt is not a feeling, it's a lot of thoughts about what's going on. There's something wrong, or I should be different, and all that. You can't. It's exactly that. That's life. It's unconditional love. In that form, in that way, it's that. It's exactly that. How can it be wrong? It's that. It's not a person behaving in a certain way. There's the story. There's living in the story, and there's always something right or wrong, and better and worse, and that it's endless. This is completely out of the story. The story is only part of that me, and that abstracting everything, sinking in time and development and distance. When that, it's only life. Life is, it's energy, watering, feelings. It's that. It's neutral. A feeling in a subtle way or in a strong way, or it's exactly that. There's nothing right or wrong. It's what it is. That's everything. So already free, already complete, as it is. Not for anyone, not from anyone. It's that, exactly that feeling, maybe that table, that feed. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. all those decisions about how you do things. I'm not doing that again. I won't do that again because that's silly and all that. And the next day it's the same. Then there's doing that. So what? So what? It's not someone doing that. It's just that. Maybe that action or those words. There's nothing right or wrong with that. It's energy going in that way. It's going nowhere. It's just those words. Yeah, they don't have any meaning. Nothing has any meaning. After each question, nothing seemed to be left after the energy of the answer. Yeah, it's killing. It's killing the whole story. Yeah, that's how it goes. It seems like, oh, and then it's pew, like a balloon. Pew. Yeah. Yeah, it can be like that. Yeah. It can be that whole construct needs confirming all the time, and then some rules or some ideas or something to get, and then you can do something with it. And there's nothing to get, so that's falling apart. Then it's not confirmed, so it's kind of falling apart. So sometimes no questions anymore doesn't arise. Yeah, can be. Oh, I have heard that there's a greater possibility to die from the me when several people wanting this and are together and resonance occur. Can you kill that? Yeah, I will. That seems like a new way of dealing with what's going on, that there's something wrong with me. There's nothing wrong. It's just a construct and there's a misunderstanding. There can be, but it's embodied. It's not me there. There's no one to kill. There's that idea. When there's me, there's something, oh, the me is the problem. So we should be being together to kill that me. That's the same story again, because then there's something wrong. And we can do something about it to kill ourselves. Come on. It's so clever. It's so clever. Because it seems like, oh yeah, that's a new way. But it's me saying that to me, or a upper me and a down me, or whatever it's called that. Of course you can't. There's no one. So there's no one doing things or killing something like a method or something like that. There's no advice. But there's so strongly wanting something to do something about it and not wanting that anymore. So what can I do? What is the best way? And that's so the urge to the search to trying to kill that not having problems anymore, wanting that freedom and all that. It's the other way around. It's about loss. It's not about trying to do and all that. No, it's loss. But loss you can't do. You can't say, oh, I open myself and to loss. It's just the same story to get something. That's the awful part of this message for me, that you can't, it's not not even about not being able to do something. There is already no one. It's killing all the opportunities and all the meaning and all ideas about surviving or killing or all that. There is already no one. There's only a misunderstanding, but it's embodied and it's not even real. So it's there and it's not. You can't grasp this. That's the awful can be the awful thing of that. You can't grasp it. It doesn't go anywhere. It feels like, oh my God, it's this, I can't understand. Or maybe I understand, but what can I do? Oh, I can't do anything. Oh my God, what's going on here? Loss doesn't feel always comfortable. So we don't want that in a way. What can be a threat? That's the killer. How can you die from the me? Oh my God. It's not how you say it. It's completely like that. Well, it's dying. I want to die. I want to die. Come on. It's the same story again. Oh my God, it's so clever. It's so clever. And then trying to deal with that. It says so many ideas about how to. There's no how to. It's already complete as it is. Mhm. It's also when there's a clarity about this, there's suddenly it's so strong and so obvious there's no me, and it's very much understood and clear and all that. This is not about clarity. So it can be a construct that it's very clear and still there's something going on about it. There's a subtle me, and there can be all kind of things. So there's an opening like, oh yeah, it's everything and all that. But when there's still something left, and that's maybe not even noticed, because that me is can be very clever and thinking like, oh, we can God, there's hearing some things and it's making it a little bit different in the story. So there can be something, people saying something that we can do that. So there's a little bit like me going on, and then it's occurring and it's like going to itself, and then it's coming to me again, and then there can come some more advices and some more ideas about what in a subtle way we can do, although there's no me, and there can be, and it's so clever. And I think that's a lot of times it's going like that when there's a clarity and there's talking about this already, and there can be a misunderstanding because it's not lived, you could say. It's not only a clarity that something can be there, but there's me having clarity, and then it's a loss of everything. It's complete loss. And it's even the loss of clarity. Because when there's walking in the woods or somewhere, there's no clarity about this at all. No, there's walking. That's everything. Oh, a heart. Thank you. Oh, my battery. Oh my God. Oh. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cool. Oh, all right. Hi. Hi, Glenn. There's already no one. There's no me already. There's nothing to look for. There's no need to change. There's no need to change. That's huge because we're so busy trying to reach something. There's nothing to reach. It's already complete as it is. It's singular. It's a hand. It's closing the computer. It's walking. It's already that. And it's already happening like that. So everything is already complete as it is. Not for anyone, but it's complete as it is. It's going nowhere. Life is, and it's complete. It's free, exactly the way it's arising or seen, or no, not seen. It's seeing. There can be. No, it's not seeing. It's a wall. It's walling. How can you say this? It's the wonder of what is happening without any meaning. It's already joy. Life is that. Look at really little children. That's that joy. It's that. It has nothing to do with them. It's life is that. And it's an expression of anything. It can be walking and jumping and walls and streets and feelings. It's that without meaning, not for anyone, or there is no someone inside, or there is even no inside. There's no outside, there's no time, there's no before. All those two are a construct of the story of me, and the belief that there's a story with time and distance. It's the ability of the brain that can abstract everything. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's singular. There's no story. It's a hand. That's everything already. Thanks. And there's another thing, like there's 2 weeks that I'm not giving the Zoom meetings because we're going to Budapest for a live meeting and residential after that. So there are 2 weeks not giving Zooms, and then after that we started again. And maybe we see you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Susie.
Thank you, Roes.
Yes.